The headlines: dentist consults his lawyer after arrest in Miami airport scare. Fourth to Mile Hill crash victim is buried. And Barbados and archrivals Trinidad clash at Kensington this weekend. Welcome to Nation News for Thursday, November 12, 2015. The Barbadian dentist at the center of a security scare at Miami International Airport on Monday says he's seeking legal advice. Anthony McCaskey was hauled off an American Airlines flight, and he told Nation News he was shocked by his arrest after his carry-on luggage was deemed suspicious. Video from the flight shows armed officers ordering passengers to leave the plane with their hands on their heads. The flight was evacuated just before takeoff. Dr. McCaskey said the suspicious item which security officers detected in his bag was actually a cable for the equipment he uses to clean teeth. An official statement from the U.S. transport authorities said that after a manual inspection, it was determined conclusively that neither the passenger nor his bag posed a threat. As many as 50 flights were said to have been delayed before the all-clear was given. Dr. McCaskey, who has been a dentist for 27 years, was on his way back home after completing an orthodontic course. 3 people, including an elderly man and a woman, were injured when 2 cars collided at the corner of Brighton Hill and Spring Garden. Fire officers had to use the jaws of life to free the elderly man and his front seat passenger. The other vehicle was a taxi. All 3 people were taken away by ambulance. The 4th victim of that horrendous accident on 2 Mile Hill last month has been laid to rest. Gary Brathwaite, who was 18, was remembered fondly by relatives and friends during a service at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church. Her body was interred in the church cemetery. Drab and dreary is how the Commerce Minister has labelled parts of our capital city. Donald Innes, like many shoppers, considers that Bridgetown is in need of a facelift. He made his views known after a tour of Cave Shepherd's renovated Broad Street store on Wednesday evening. Mr. Innes commended the owners for the investment in the store, which he said is now on par with department stores around the world. However, he said much of the city looks drab and dreary, and the government, the private sector, and other civil society need to make it look more attractive. Many Bajans still believe they can flout planning laws, says Deputy Chief Town Planner George Brown, even though he acknowledges that more of them are now aware that they must seek permission when building. Mr. Brown was speaking to Nation News following a seminar which formed part of Town Planning Week.
Most of them now would call the department requesting if they need planning permission for a particular activity before they carry it out. You still have people who go ahead and undertake work without planning permission. But I think in general the majority of the persons are aware that they require planning permission for developments, and in some cases if some persons say making a renovation, they would still call to find out if they need planning permission for that. So I think the Barbadians are more sensitized now of the need to seek planning permission before they carry out development.
Mr. Brown said the department receives calls from concerned residents questioning whether an ongoing development is contrary to the rules.
We receive a number of assistance to the public by either calling in, informing that persons are carrying out developments which they think they don't have planning permission for.
Despite all the talk about the economic potential of the cultural industries, very few projects have been submitted so far for financing, even though $50 million in donor funding for the arts is available. CEO of the Small Business Association, Lynette Holder, made the revelation at a consultation on the creative sector.
There is a need for us to develop the projects that can draw down on these funds. Otherwise, Barbados will continue on the trajectory that it has been known for, which is not using the donor funds that come to our shores. And these monies go back to the donors. We have developed, it would appear, that reputation in other spheres. Let it not happen with the Human Resource Development Strategy. We have these funds. We need projects to be able to be implemented, to be able to access these funds. And therefore, I commend to this stakeholders forum today, that after the talk, let there be some action.
Sport now. After a dominant innings victory against Jamaica Scorpions in their opening match, Barbados Pride will seek to continue their winning ways in the second round of the West Indies cricket season on Friday. It starts on Friday. They will host Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at Kensington Oval. It will likely be the last match for the Barbados Test players before they leave for the West Indies tour of Australia later this month. Both the Pride and Red Force are currently tied for second place in the standings on 17 points. And finally, a local government council head in Britain who helped to close every public toilet in his town has been fined by police for urinating in the street. Jackie Burns was caught short just months after overseeing the action of public loos in Hamilton in Scotland as part of public spending cuts. The 51-year-old was waiting in a taxi rank when he suddenly needed a toilet and went down a lane, where police saw him and gave him a £40 on-the-spot fine on their fixed penalty ticket system. "I'm embarrassed by the incident," he said, and have apologized. Good too. And that's Nation News for Thursday. For more, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Weekend Nation on Friday or subscribe to our e-paper.